Suprabhatam friends, welcome to my channel Plants and Me. This is Dr. Sridevi from Mangaluru, Karnataka, India. After 1 week's continuous raining, today it's a very bright sunny day. And today I have a little bit of work on my hand. I would be repotting a plant called as Malati or Aganosma. This is the plant. I love the leaves. It has got a maroon midrib, but it is not doing well. There are some spots on the leaf. This actually has very aromatic, strongly aromatic flowers. It's a climber. Somehow it is not doing well. There are so many weeds growing in it. This is one Calicia which had just been put and it has gained so much roots. This is the usual roadside plant, Ruellia tuberosa. Let me check the potting mix. I had made a sandy type of potting mix. This plant looks like root bound. You can see the roots here. So let's repot it. But before that, I will have to get all the things on the terrace. This is on the terrace. So I'll have to get the mud bag, the vermicompost and other components on the terrace. The mud bag, it is a heavy job, but let's do it. My next requirement, sand. Let's take this bucket onto the terrace. This is a quite large plant. I don't know how it is going to take up the repotting. I am watering the plant and making the soil wet. I am first removing all these weeds from this plant, from this pot. I'll try to uproot this plant. The plant seems to be having some infestation and it is root bound. That is why it was not thriving. There are root mealies here, all root mealies. I'll now prepare a fresh potting mix. I will add a pesticide to the I'm preparing a fresh potting mix because that potting mix has got some infestation. So I'll have to prepare a fresh potting mix. It's a 14-inch pot, so it requires quite a bit of potting mix. This has got a little bit of sand in it, but I prefer adding more sand. I will add about this much sand. It's not 1/4, a little less. A 10% we can think. Now to this I will add vermicompost. This was already there as I showed you. That only I am using. To this I will add antifungal. The red spots which the leaves have got, that is probably due to fungus and the spores on the leaves. So I am adding a lot of antifungal to the potting mix. I'll now mix all this together. Now this is done. I am putting it in this pot. I have filled about 1/3 of the pot. I am going to add a handful of bone meal and a handful of Epsom salt. Epsom salt will help the plant to come back from the repotting shock. It's quite a big plant, so it needs some support to come back from the repotting shock. I'm adding little more potting mix, and here I'll be adding only Epsom salt because on this layer I am going to place the plant. I had placed these thermocol pieces at the base, and there is ant infestation also. I just used to keep a layer of thermocol or stones, something like that at the base for drainage purpose. There are quite a bit of ants. I am teasing the outer layer of this potting mix. Inside it is okay. Outside there is no, inside also there is this mealybug. So I am removing all the potting mix as much as possible. So this is the root ball I got. I have placed the plant in the center. Now I'll put the remaining potting mix. I finished putting the potting mix. Now I am watering the plant. Sunlight requirement, it grows in partial shade to full sun. The leaves have become like this. Most probably it is a fungal infection. It is in full sun on my terrace. It gets whole day sunlight. Minimum 6 to 8 hours of sunlight is necessary for blooming. So sunlight requirements is full sun. Then water. It doesn't require much water. The leaves are very thick actually, so it doesn't require much water. Watering once in 2 to 3 days is very much fine. In fact, if you water it too much, the roots become soggy. So that is not required, that is not expected. So watering should be once in 2 to 3 days. Or best would be checking the potting mix before watering. We have to poke our finger into the potting mix and check how much wet it is. So if it is going to become dry in another 1 day, then it needs watering. Nutrition, it is a heavy feeder. That's why I added so much vermicompost in it. Once the vermicompost gets used up, I will replenish with vermicompost again. It's a flowering plant and it loves acidic soil. So I would be adding bone meal and Epsom salt also to the potting mix. So usually what I do is I take the amount of vermicompost required for the plant, and in that only I mix bone meal and Epsom salt, and that vermicompost mixed with bone meal and Epsom salt is added to the potting mix. So the botanical name of this plant is Aganosma paniculata. This actually grows wild here in South Canada, and in the natural habitat it grows at places where the water slides off. On laterite rocks it grows. That is why I have prepared a sandy type of potting mix. The sand and soil ratio is about 40 and 60. So that is about the repotting of the plant Malati. The flowers are superbly fragrant. It's very strong. Sometimes some people may not like that strong fragrance also, but I love the fragrance of this flowers. It had flowered once. After that, I'm not sure what went wrong with this. Then we put it on the terrace, and after that also it has not flowered. So let's hope this repotting helps this plant. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye.